Many years ago, I rented space in Santa Monica. I noticed the realtors said, for rent, creative space. So I'd never seen that before. That was high-ceilinged, large warehouse space that was used for a wig factory. The problem was there were no real amenities in it. Like everything else, you sort of use it, you make the best of it. Many of my artist friends were using space like that for their painting studios, and of course they were only one or two people. But when you bring a group of 20, 30 people in, it changes the equation. It does create some new idea or something happening that you wouldn't have thought of or you wouldn't have talked about that just happens serendipitously. I think tenants like it because the freedom is inspirational, the freedom of not being locked into a cubicle. It's not architectural in the sense that you're making an architectural statement. It is really creating an environment that energizes and promotes interactivity in a less formal way. So along came El Segundo. It's a project I'm doing with a friend, and we said, you know, this really works, and it would make sense to try it for a commercial office space.
I think El Segundo is kind of, we've all seen it growing up over the years. It's kind of an up-and-coming area, and it's a nice sort of small town feel in LA, but there's always been sort of these quirky little warehouse spaces left over from the aerospace industry kind of moving out. So it's about 10 minutes south from LAX. It's just west of the 405, and it's also about a block and a half from the Metro light rail stop, so it's a nice hub of transit convenience. The Southern California problem with architecture is how do you deal with parking as a starting point. So the idea of lifting the building up and doing at-grade parking allowed us to break the mold of the standard warehouse where you have this building on ground with parking surrounding it. So now we're able to maximize the buildable area of the lot to create kind of this large floor plate building. And part of what that allowed us to do architecturally was there's an area we could build that's the leasable space for the project, which is about 82,000 square feet. And then we ended up with these balcony spaces that we used as the circulation from the cores of the building up from the parking that create kind of entries at 4 points on the podium level, let's say. And that becomes kind of a nice outdoor amenity for tenants and outdoor space, which is kind of always something that's nice in Southern California. So because we had the freedom to break from a traditional warehouse in the sense that they're pretty much boxes with no windows, we were able to incorporate all of the windows into the facade at this point of the design of the building, as well as a lot of skylights and natural light. So the idea that you've got a big open floor plate, lots of glass, lots of natural light coming in, and the flexibility to divide it up as needed per tenant.